and this is serious. This could bring down incredible heat on me because I'm about to suggest something very bad. It is a hypothetical I am going to ask as a thriller writer. With the feckless, spineless Congress we have, who will stand in the way of Donald Trump overstepping his constitutional authority as president? If Congress won't remove him from office, what patriot will step up and do that?
Well, I would agree with you on that, and I don't think that you actually have the voices. We've been talking about this off air for a while.
Novelist Brad Thor in a conversation with broadcaster Glenn Beck on the radio, and you heard a hypothetical about what might happen if Donald Trump overstepped a constitutional authority as president. And I think any fair-minded person says what Brad Thor says. He's going to get incredible heat because it's implying assassination. Well, Glenn Beck agreed with Thor on it, and it means a suspension for Beck from Sirius XM Radio's Patriot channel. The management of the Patriot channel had some things to say about it, as may our next guest, who joins us from Newsmax, New York. He is former New York police detective Tom Ruskin. Tom is also the president of CMP Protective and Investigative Group, as he joins us this evening from Newsmax, New York. And of course, you can get on our conversation too at 1-877-NEWSMAX. That's 1-877-639-7629. Tom, it can be a challenge taking telephone calls, even with guests you know. Brad Thor admitted
Absolutely.
He'd get some heat. Boy, did he get the heat, and Glenn Beck did as well. Did Sirius XM make the right call in suspending Glenn Beck?
It wasn't that apparent to me that Thor was calling for the assassination of a President Trump. It seemed to me more that he was calling on Congress that if Trump overstepped his bounds, as Obama has, that the Congress should do something and basically act as legislators to do what they're paid to do. Should Beck have, stopped him? Possibly. Should he be suspended? I think it was an overreaction by, a station trying to protect themselves.
Well, let's read a portion of the statement released by the management of Sirius XM Radio. The statement reads, in part, the comments here we have a different part of it. Sirius XM encourages a diversity of discourse and opinion on our talk programs. However, comments recently made by a guest on the independently produced Glenn Beck program, in our judgment, may be reasonably construed by some to have been advocating harm against an individual currently running for office, which we cannot and will not condone. So you believe, Tom, this is management reacting in a way to protect business?
As they say, it's management reacting to some. You walk a very delicate line in anchoring a show. When you have a caller who wants to express their opinions, we live in a country where we have a First Amendment, where short of yelling fire in a theater, you can express your opinions. And that was what Thor was doing. He didn't say, I think that someone should assassinate a President Trump. What he said is that Congress should do what they have to do should a President Trump or any other president exceed their authority.
Well, let's go to the phones at 1-877-NEWSMAX and see what our callers have to say. We begin in Boise, Idaho with Bill. Bill, how do you see it?
Hi, this is Engineer Bill from Idaho, and I feel strongly that Glenn Beck has a very good right to express very strong concerns about presidential candidate Trump. It's sad that we have such deadly serious opposition in Washington to Donald Trump's candidacy, and so they seem to be going all out to create riots and violence and mayhem in the streets in front of Donald's meetings. And so I think, again, Donald Trump obviously is highly warned and hopefully highly protected against such tragic responses.
So let me drill down a little bit more with you, Bill. Are you a Trump supporter who still believes Glenn Beck has a First Amendment right? That's why you're saying he should stay on the air?
Yeah, I'm very strongly a Trump supporter, and hopefully Glenn Beck will be too. I don't know what exactly his positions are.
Well, I guess that's why folks listen to him, although for the next unspecified length of time, we won't be hearing him on Sirius XM radio. Bill, we're glad to hear from you loudly and clearly this evening from Boise, Idaho. Tom, let's move to another story that is making news, and it's something that obviously you have lived, dealing with wearing and walking the thin blue line. Down in Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards just signed into law the bill that has been nicknamed Blue Lives Matter. This piece of legislation provides that attacks against police officers, firefighters, and EMS personnel, it classifies them as hate crimes. Now, there's a big debate about hate crimes, but should there be a special state sanction against those who would attack police?
Absolutely. And firefighters and EMS. These are your first responders. These are the people, when you dial 911, who are rushing into the building to protect you and protect us all. So, of course, we should protect them more. The same way other states, like New York, has passed laws that if you kill an active law enforcement officer, be a correction officer, a police officer, in the commission of a crime, you're going to face the death penalty. And, of course, more severe penalties as well as classifications of crime should be to killing a law enforcement officer in the commission of a crime or, just in general.
And we know it's a challenge for everyone who is in law enforcement, for everyone in public service as they step out to do their jobs. More of you are stepping up to call in at 1-877-Newsmax. And the topic of interest, the whole notion of Glenn Beck being suspended from Sirius XM Radio's Patriot Channel. Back to Idaho we go, this time to Pocatello, Idaho, for Phil. Phil, what say you about Beck and his suspension?
Well, over the last few years, I actually listened to Glenn Beck a lot because he's from a local in the area. And I've noticed that just over the last few 6 months to 8 months, he's grown increasingly more violent and angry on his show regarding Donald J. Trump, specifically targeting that one specific vile comments that just show a lack of civility somewhere. And I think that he has gotten so far off to the right that he's bringing views against Donald Trump, and they're getting more violent. And he's bringing those people with him, those Cruz supporters, if you want to call them that.
Well, obviously there is passion, and goodness, I know when I was on the floor of the Congress, arguing a topic, you could bring passion to it. The question becomes, is there a way to express such passion in a civil society without intimating or insinuating violence? And Tom, I know during your days in law enforcement, maybe you'll bear this out. As I understand it, the most dangerous situation for a police officer is to walk into a family dispute because of the passions there. Is that true? We've got about a minute to comment on this.
Absolutely. One of the cases that I remember when I used to respond to any major thing that happened in the city of New York is a police officer going to break up a family dispute. And the husband had beaten the wife. The husband was going to go to jail. And what happened is, as he was arresting the husband, who should have been arrested, the wife jumped on his back. The cop fell on a mirror and cut his femoral artery and died right there on the scene because he bled to death. That's what you have to face as a police officer around this country every single day, and God bless them for what they do.
It is a difficult job, made more difficult by what has been happening in terms of the public discourse in recent months. And again, the public discourse now in this campaign is subject for debate. Tom, we thank you very much for your time tonight from Newsmax, New York, and we thank all of you who called in as well to discuss this. Now, when we come back, Donald